Peace. How is everybody doing? Once again, this is Poet Deep coming again with another empowering session to help those in need to get by, get through, and even advance and get ahead. So the message that I have for today is about mastering your craft, whatever your craft may be. And this came to me as really a revelation last night. I've been going through some stress lately, feeling very overwhelmed about where to put my best foot forward in certain places in my life, especially concerning like far as my business. I'm working on increasing my income more because on my path to financial independence, that's the most relevant phase to me right now, or for me. So with that being said, I go through a lot, in terms of what should I be doing and what sacrifices am I willing to make and what comes along with those decisions. Some people are in different situations, and some things in my mind, the challenges that I face are real and some of them are imagined. And that's that. But it came to me in that space, and last night, I was looking at Instagram and I was inspired by the brother, young Muslim brother, brother Ben X. And he gave me, he just gave me a little more clear direction on myself, and I'm probably I think I'm 9 years older than him, and he really reminded me of this power and this force that I had when I was 24 years old. I'm 33 now, and I remember the feeling, I used to literally feel like superhuman, not that I was above anybody, but I was so channeled into my power and the work that I was doing and the results and stuff like that. I was on a constant high, and he's, in my opinion, looking at his work, he's on that high now. And I think he's developing some things, some great things that he will be able to stay on that high even when he's my age or older and things like that, just based off of what he's doing. And, I looked at a few other motivational people on Instagram, people who have some substance and things to provide, how they're building a platform and how that platform is being something that is sustaining them. So it was very inspirational. And so all of that led me to the conclusion of just, mastering our crafts and investing that necessary time, the funds, to be able to invest, to master our crafts. And different crafts call for, different levels of attention and things like that. Just like prime example, one of my crafts is as a musician, and sometimes, I got it's funny because I have a very optimistic musical side, then I have a side that's not so optimistic, because I have other gifts, and so it's sometimes even in my own mind I underestimate the importance of music and what music can do in the lives of people. But sometimes due to the fact that music is not feeding me right now necessarily, you know what I'm saying? It's it's kind of like sometimes I think in my mind I devalue the worth of it. Not that I need money off of it, but understanding this is really an investment. This is really about part of changing lives. This is still in alignment with my purpose, and that's good when you have a craft that aligns with your purpose, something that you're very good at, and it aligns with one of your spiritual purposes that you believe that you're here on earth to do. And sometimes, like I say, with music, due to the fact that I spend so much time working, dealing with family or having other obligations, and I'm not always in that musical mode, sometimes it just seems so far away to me to be full of that, into that musical mode, because it feels like I would be neglecting so much stuff. And sometimes I had to listen to some more music. Like this morning I was taking my children to school, and on my way back I was listening to This Can't Be Life off of the Dynasty album, Jay-Z, Beanie Siegel, and Scarface. And when it was Jay had opened up the verse, just how he was just describing the conditions that he went through, it was just man. Then by the ending, it's Scarface almost brought me to tears. you know, with his verse, because his verse was talking about right before he came to the studio to lay that song down, one of his best friends, one of his good friends had lost one of their children, you know, and he was just talking about, you know, he just really went in a short verse. He really went in to really bring up that emotion, you know what I'm saying? It made me think about me losing a child, or how would I feel, how bad I would feel if somebody that I'm close to or somebody I love, they lose one of their children, you know? And so it was just reminding me like, man, this is so priceless, because like how I felt, my thought processes and things like that I went into was very, very valuable, you know, and I appreciated that this morning. You know, like I said, it really had almost brought me to tears, and I listened to it like 5 times. And I had another song that almost brought me to tears a couple days ago by Pastor Troy, and it made me do a lot of reflecting, and it was just like, man, you know, had me thinking like this is a craft that I need to continue to build on and working and things like that. So overall, whatever your craft is, I was just taking a little moment talking about one of my crafts. You know, putting words together, you know, especially in the form of rhyme, is something that I'm very good at doing. I'm 34 now, so I'm not 34, I'm 33, about to be 34. But I've been doing this, I've been writing since I was 11. So that's what, 22 years. I've been writing since I was 11. So, you know, and I've written a lot of work. You know, most of it is not released, but, you know. So whatever your craft is, master your craft. Because with mastering your craft, you will be able to fully take advantage of opportunities that are around you. You're able to, you know, do not just more for yourself, but do more for others. Because sometimes when we are trying to get ahead in life, you know, we start to, you know, we get bombarded with so much information. Whereas it's kind of like we don't know which shoes fit for us, but we already got a pair, we're just not wearing them. And, you know, so somebody such as myself, like, I'm keep looking at all these different avenues of how to make money, but instead of really looking at what I already have established, you know, the low-hanging fruits, that's what they call it. You know, you grab something that is the closest to you, and make mastering your craft something that is practical for everything that you have in your life. You know, starting off, you know, until you can make it more of a priority, you know, whereas it can actually have the space with, you know, serious obligations, because it's doing that much in your life. And even me, like, I'm giving another example back into me. I've seen how mastering my craft could not only be something that's great for the community and for other people to hear, but for my own family. Because basically, like, all of my children are in the music in some shape, form, or fashion. My son, my oldest son, he's 17. He's getting ready to be 18. He has music up on SoundCloud. And I'm gonna tell you something about my son. His rap name is Sick Trey Kuma. And my son, like, he has like probably like one song, like one of his songs. He don't even really post music that much, you know. But he only got like one. He has like one song that has more listens and plays than everything I got on the internet. And he just started. And I've been on the internet, you know, for some time now, for some years. So, you know, so all of my children are in the music, and it's like, as a family, I've thought more about how they could all play a part in this. You know, like one time I paid my son, you know, I was paid to perform at a hotel for this group, and I was able to bring my son along with me, and out of some of that money I was paid, it wasn't that much that I was paid, but I was able to pay him something just to hold my camera phone up just to get the performance, and that allows him to be able to get the experience. And it's a lot of things, you know, it's not he just getting experience about music, but he's getting experience about networking, how to communicate with other people and things like that, how to understand when people pay you. It's so many different life lessons that can be taught out of things, and sometimes I have to be mindful of that. You know, another thing that I've done is like right here in my studio, right here live in my basement, you know, like my youngest son and not my youngest daughter, but my youngest son, who is 12, like, you know, sometimes, you know, I will pay him just a couple bucks just to record me. Now, most of my music I record myself, You know what I'm saying? So, this is the booth right here. I will run back and forth. And, I've laid down many projects like that, right? But to have my children involved in the process, I've had them right here. And it takes a little bit longer because I got to show them what to do. But at the same time, I'm building them up. And so it's a way that this can actually, me mastering my craft can actually be a family business. So if you have a family and you feel like when you engage in your craft, it's something to take away from your family, find a way, try to be creative to find a way to infuse your family with that. So when you're into your craft, you can have your family with you. So I've had situations like, I've had interviews and stuff to do with radio stations and stuff. Some of them interviews, not many, but some of them interviews, I've had my children with me. So they're actually sitting in the radio station or whatever, and they're just getting that experience, watching me communicate, paying attention to the questions and all of these different things, and we could always make events like that special. It's like, okay, we're going through the radio station. When we're done, we just going to have a good snack, and we're going to talk over the snack about your experiences. And, my children are not really very talkative like that with people that they don't know. So the big kicker for them might be, I'm really going for the snack and not to be around this crowd of people. So it's different things that could be utilized, to be able to be a component of family healing, So, and I have to be reminded of that as well, Sometimes I feel like engaging in this craft can take away from my family. Just like I got a son that while he's getting ready to be out of school, and something I had came to my mind before was like buying a nice camera. If I get called to do shows, whether it's out of state or wherever, I would pay him to record me. And so that way he's getting experience, then he could possibly network with other people so that he can be able to do something to be able to feed himself. So it has a trickle effect. And it's not only that, but it's various things that I do. Like one of my songs I put on my last project, my daughter is singing on there. She's singing on it. It's a song I got called Who Are You? And this was something that I released back in 2018, People Under Siege Revisited. It was an EP that I put out. And she was singing on that, And so that's what I'm saying is, like, try to find a way, if you haven't, try to find a way that if you have a family, if you have important people, how can you infuse them into the process so it don't have to seem like you're pulling away from them. Now, certain things, you can't do everything with your family, but I'm saying make it as family friendly or as family engaging as possible, because that will allow you to be able to still be in that lane doing what you need to do, and our crafts, it's meant to be mastered. We're meant to hone in on our skills. Prior to living in such an industrious place as human beings, our motivations were not waking up and rushing into a job or having to contend with paying for this house right here, things like that. Our time was providing the needs for us, our family, our village, and things like that, but also mastering our crafts, because that was the value of who we really were the things that we were very good at doing. And we used to spend hours and hours and things like that, to be able to do that. And understandably, a lot of us are not in the situation financially, today, to be able to just stop doing other things and just to focus on their craft, especially if they're not being paid for their craft. So master your craft. And with mastering your craft, look at for all of the leverage that you have. There's a lot of leverage that we have a lot of times that we don't even know we have. So sometimes we gotta lay out what we have in front of other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think about this? What do you think I can do about this? Utilize YouTube. You got videos about hacking methods. And what I mean by hacking methods is finding a way to be able to get a job done with half the work or little work. So look for that. I think I didn't say this, but networking, and that just comes with like bringing somebody else in to look at what you can do. Look at whatever, like I say, it's all about resources. It's all about resources, and it's so much great stuff going on. It's a lot of things that we can be able to get covered if we don't have a lot of money. So we have to be able to look for people that can provide benefit, and we can provide benefit to them in exchange. Just like, I've never really had a lot of money, over the years, but I've still been successfully able to release a project each year. Ideally, I wanted to release an album each year, at least 12, 14 songs, and that hasn't happened yet, but I've been able to at least release, since 2015, I've been able to release 7 songs. So that's just what's been working, best for me. And right now, I'm just releasing song for song. I'm just releasing singles. And while I'm on that note, I just released my single today called Fly Away. Today is the release of it. I've already released it. I still got to send out an email blast to the people that are my subscribers on my website. But that's a single that was released. And I think, this year I only released one single. Last year I released the EP, and then I think I probably released like 3 extra songs. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just how I'm moving right now. I'm not being so worried about releasing projects. It's just give the music how it come. And I still got some music that's being worked on in the vault and things like that. But just like my producer, somebody who I have a very great relationship with, and it goes beyond money. He's such a big help. And when I send him a donation. You see what I'm saying? For the work and stuff that he do, and I tell you right now, like honestly, he's not being paid, to what he's providing, just being honest. But at the same time, we're both providing a lot of value to each other. My producer, he's an older man, he's my elder, and this is something, he's living out his dream. He's retired. And I never thought that I would actually have a producer that's retired that actually is mixing, mastering, making beats for my music, my young self. I'm literally like half his age. You know what I'm saying? He has a son that's around my age. You know what I mean? So, but it's a beautiful process because our relationship goes just beyond music. You know what I mean? There's a lot of spiritual aspects involved as well as far as our connection. So, but that was just leverage, and he came to me. He was a blessing that came to me. So I've been able to always meet good people along the way. And most of the good people that I've met, as much as I hate jobs, they've all been through my jobs. Most of the people. My producer didn't come through my job. That came through Facebook. But like my first EP that I dropped in 2015, the brother Scotty Banks provided me beats, mixed and mastered. A lot of the songs on that project, he was a brother I met while I was temporarily working at Amazon. What was the next project? Straight for the Throat. That was a mixtape project, but a good brother named Maurice. I didn't meet him through work, but a lot of people, whether it's been, my logo came from somebody that I met through my job. Somebody that just wanted to do a logo for me. You know what I'm saying? So, when I had to count my blessings, sometimes it was like, while things wasn't going right for me in life, I had to look at what was going right. I've had so many people that just wanted to help me out, and I be trying to give certain people money, like, no, don't worry about it. This is something I just want to do, so I've been blessed. So this is not to say we should be out here looking for freebies from people, but what we should be doing is looking at practical ways that we can be able to provide people value and live a life of value. And we be surprised who and what we get in return. We be surprised. So, that's been happening to me, ever since I've started, and it's just been beautiful. I've never really had to kick out a large chunk of cash for anything. And I have a very professional setup, whether it's been the photographers, videos and stuff like that. People that just want to shoot a video, like, no, I shoot, I just do it for you. I want to see how it'll turn out, and it's like, wow, I've been blessed. And I appreciate each and every last person who has been a part of my vision or in some shape or capacity. I've been sorry about that. But each and every last person that we've been a part of each other's vision, it's been a very, very dope, deep process, but let's master our crafts, Let's look at the resources that we can utilize. If we don't understand some of the resources, or we don't know how to see the value in it, let's do the research. Let's take time to do the research. Let's connect with other people. Let's have other people to look over what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that preferably we trust, or somebody that we're comfortable with talking to and getting critique from. So whatever your craft is, master your craft. You know, and I guess you make a decision. Is that mastering your craft is going to include finances, or is it just something that you're just doing for yourself spiritually? Because everybody that's watching this might not necessarily be in need of more finances, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to mastering their craft. That might not be their goal or their aim. So let's master our craft. Let's utilize what we have around us, low-hanging fruits, you know. Let's think big, let's play big, but let's work small, you know, small tasks, and we grow in the process, you know. So with that being said, you know, everybody have a great day. Please get that single, Fly Away. It's a very great single. I'll put the I will put the link in the description down below, and tell me what you think. You know, tell me what you think and how you feel in that track, or even if it ain't about the track, what you think about this video. Any suggestions, feedback, comments, all of that are welcome. Everybody have a great one. Peace.